Yes, Jamaica. So they force out Keisha Prince Kamika and replace her with Dayton Campbell best friend, this individual that you're seeing on the screen. And the government, which I applaud right now, has registered an objection to the appointment of this man. Because yes, he's Dayton Campbell, the General Secretary of the PNP, best friend for 20 years. He was at this man's wedding and served as some groomsman or whatever, some important part in this man's wedding.
We begin this afternoon with a major development concerning the Integrity Commission. Nationwide News understands that the leaders of government business in both the lower and upper houses of Parliament have sent a letter to the chairman of the Integrity Commission, Carol Lawrence Beswick, expressing concern about the appointment of Ronif Lawrence as Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution at the Commission. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell has written on social media that he has been friends with Ronif Lawrence for over 20 years. Ed Bartlett and Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith made their concerns known in a letter which was dispatched today to Lawrence Beswick, a retired justice of the Supreme Court. As we hear from George Davis, in part 1 of this Nationwide News exclusive, the government parliamentary leaders sent a copy of their letter to Governor General Sir Patrick Allen.
In a letter seen by Nationwide News, Ed Bartlett and Kamina Johnson-Smith told Justice Lawrence Beswick that they write to register particular and serious concerns held by their government colleagues. They indicate that they've taken note of a publication on the Integrity Commission's website which confirms the appointment of one Mr. Ronif Lawrence as Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution. Bartlett and Johnson-Smith say they've also taken note of a social media post on January 26 this year by Dr. Dayton Campbell, which is being widely circulated. Dr. Campbell's post contained a photograph of him in the company of Ronif Lawrence at what appeared to be Lawrence's wedding. Bartlett and Johnson-Smith note that Dr. Campbell provided context for the photograph in his description of Lawrence as his friend of over 20 years, dating back to their time at university on Chancellor Hall. They say that Justice Lawrence Beswick would be aware that Dr. Campbell is General Secretary of the PNP, which, at the risk of stating the obvious, is the JLP administration's main political adversary. Both Bartlett and Johnson-Smith say it's a matter of public record that in late 2024, Dr. Campbell used a political platform to make particular comments about a case which it subsequently came to public attention was being considered for investigation by the Integrity Commission. Bartlett and Johnson-Smith tell Justice Lawrence Beswick that they do not for a moment question the professional qualifications of Ronif Lawrence. They say also that neither they nor their government parliamentary colleagues are questioning any individual's constitutional right of association, nor do they seek to interfere in the operations of the Integrity Commission. However, they tell Justice Lawrence Beswick that as an eminent retired jurist, she would well appreciate the fact that justice should not only be done, but should be seen to be manifestly and demonstrably done, and that with respect to the Integrity Commission, the bar would undoubtedly be even higher. Bartlett and Johnson-Smith tell Justice Lawrence Beswick that prior to her appointment as Integrity Commission Chairman, there were utterances by certain members of the executive leadership of the Commission which raised questions in the public domain about fairness and the appearance of bias at the institution. They say that should not be ignored. Bartlett and Johnson-Smith say that given his 20-year friendship with the PNP General Secretary, any decision taken by Ronif Lawrence concerning members of the political fraternity will certainly be open to question. They say it's regrettable and unfortunate to have to register on behalf of their government parliamentary colleagues their serious concern about Ronif Lawrence's appointment as Acting Director of Corruption Prosecution at the Integrity Commission and his possible permanent appointment. George Davis for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the leaders of government business in the upper and lower houses of Parliament have also asked Chairman Lawrence Beswick to probe media reports concerning alleged misconduct at the Integrity Commission. Khaleesi Wright has more.
Ed Bartlett and Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith told Chairman of the Integrity Commission, Carol Lawrence Beswick, that they have noted with serious concern media reports that the former Director of Corruption Prosecution, Keisha Prince Kamika, came under pressure to not seek renewal of her contract due to a lawful decision she made. The government parliamentary leaders told Justice Lawrence Beswick that she has a duty to, as best as possible, ensure that trust and confidence are rebuilt in the commission. To that end, they are calling on her to interrogate whether Prince Kamika did in fact come under pressure due to the lawful decision she made while doing her job. They are asking Justice Lawrence Beswick to ascertain from whence that pressure emanated and the extent to which that alleged pressure may have contributed to Prince Kamika not seeking the renewal of her contract. House Leader Bartlett and Senate Leader Johnson Smith also expressed concern about widely circulated reports in both traditional and social media which suggest that a senior investigator resigned from the commission. Claims have been swirling on social media that the investigator resigned after a statement that she had submitted to the commission was excluded from a report submitted by the commission to the Parliament of Jamaica. This was allegedly prompted by the intervention of an influential official at the commission. The reports allege that the formal statement submitted by the investigator raised serious concerns about unethical practices during the conduct of an investigation by the commission. Bartlett and Senator Johnson Smith told Justice Lawrence Beswick that they respectfully suggest that the issue be subject of inquiry by the commissioners. They ended their letter by seeking to assure Justice Lawrence Beswick that having passed the law to establish the Integrity Commission, the government unreservedly believes in the objectives of the commission and desires its success. Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News.
And this man should be allowed on this board. No, tell me something. I'm not saying that this man is biased and shit, but what are the likelihood or what are the probabilities of this happening? We're not having it. First of all, we have seen where the IC have targeted the Prime Minister and ridiculous claim report that table and finalize and make no grand conclusion. One for John out the case so the people of Jamaica think that the Prime Minister is in the wrong, when there's nothing to charge the Prime Minister for based on the law of the land, which Keisha Prince Kamika act accordingly. But because she's doing that, they have a problem with it. They have a problem with it, Jamaica. The Integrity Commission, totally, I don't know, them need to disband, totally decimated and start back over new with persons who is not affiliated with PMP or JLP. Those persons who are interested in good governance of Jamaica and fighting corruption in its entirety.